Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Today's webinar will be about smart buildings, the future of a safe workplace. It is co-hosted by Sinra and Tektelic. Today's agenda will cover a quick introduction on the speakers, followed by some market insights on the smart buildings segment. After that, we will have some discussions around LoRaWAN benefits and solutions. And we will then end the presentations with a specific use case for smart workplace. Time permitting, we will then open up a session for question and answers to make sure that we've been able to address anyone's questions throughout the presentation. Couple of housekeeping notes. If anyone does have any questions, you can please use the Q&A section down in the webinar. You'll see a button there. Please use that for all your questions and not the chat section. And we will try to get to everyone's questions as best as we can. So today's speakers, we have Taras Tabaranski. He's the Business Development Manager for Tektelic, and he's specifically focused on marketing and sales for the India region. I myself am Ali Hosseini, the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Sinra. We are a public network operator in India. We've been deploying networks since 2017, and we also now are providing LoRaWAN solution services for our clients, not only in India, but also around the world. So some market insights. The smart buildings market is estimated to be worth $108.9 billion US by 2025. The smart buildings technology market spend analysis is having an exponential growth with an estimation that over the next 4 years, we will see a compound annual growth rate of 27.79%. The incremental spend over the next 4 years is estimated to be $65 billion US. Now you might want to ask yourself, why do we see such an amazing estimation of incremental spend? What are those key driving factors? The smart building key driving factors that studies have shown, the three main factors is around energy management, building infrastructure management, and security, safety, emergency management. With the recent pandemic, we have seen a shift in adoption rate of the Internet of Things, smart solutions, and a lot of it is actually specifically driven in the smart building segment. You'll see the two of the three factors that seem to be of more importance currently is actually the building infrastructure management and obviously the safety related management activities that can be done in the buildings. So what we'll do is hand this over to Taras. He will introduce himself and go through the benefits and solutions of LoRaWAN. And then I will, after that, dive a little bit deeper into a specific use case. So Taras, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introductory words, Ali. Hello, everyone. For those newcomers, my name is Taras Tabaranski. I'm a business development manager at Tektelic with a specific focus on the India region. I'm grateful for Sinra that they have provided me this chance to present during this webinar today. So thank you very much, Ali. Let's switch to the next slide. I would like to start off this presentation by providing a quick overview of the LPWAN space with a focus on the LoRaWAN technology. If you are unfamiliar with LoRaWAN, essentially it is a long-range wide area network that is designed to send small amounts of data over very long distances and utilizing very little power. It is a very cost-effective technology that is being deployed globally today for many different applications. Some of them are remote asset monitoring, metering, indoor and outdoor environmental monitoring, asset tracking, weather monitoring, local services, and many, many others. Compared to other IoT technologies such as Bluetooth, Zigbee, or Wi-Fi, or even traditional cellular networks, LoRaWAN is ideal for any application in which small amounts of data are transmitted over long distances, as well as cost and battery life are of utmost importance. You would never be sending any sort of HD video over LoRaWAN, but if you need to transmit a temperature reading or a water leak notification, LoRaWAN is a perfect fit for that. Today, both Ali and I will be speaking to you about some of the interesting LoRaWAN use cases we are helping our customers to deploy nowadays. Let's switch to next slide, please. Here at Tiktaalik, we pride ourselves in our ability to offer end-to-end LoRaWAN solutions. And what we mean by that is that we have the expertise and capability to deliver all components of the typical LoRaWAN network. As you can see on the slide, there are 4 key components to any LoRaWAN network. First come the sensors that are deployed in the field, then the gateways. They essentially serve as routers for collecting and passing through the data from the sensors. Then the network server, which serves as the brains for the network. It gathers all the data, decodes, and manages it. And then, of course, the end application, which is responsible for visualization of the data collected from the sensors. Over the past 4 years, we have developed a best-in-class portfolio of the LoRaWAN sensors, the most comprehensive LoRaWAN gateway portfolio on the market, a robust network server, and many, many applications to serve our customer requirements. As Ali will be discussing more about the network server and application solutions offered by Senra today, I'm going to focus on the gateways and a few device solutions that Tiktaalik has developed in smart building space. As you might know, Tiktaalik has become well known in the IoT and specifically in LoRaWAN ecosystem as a premier provider of carrier-grade gateways. Over the past 4 years, Tiktaalik have developed the most comprehensive portfolio of the LoRaWAN gateways for any customer deployment. Whether you're looking for a wide area coverage of a city or a municipality, which can be served by our Kona Mega, or maybe you're looking for a carrier-grade outdoor coverage of a smaller scale for a farm or a university, then the Kona Macro or our newly released Kona Enterprise Gateway is an ideal solution for you. If you need a LoRaWAN coverage on the go and you need to bring the network with you, you can mount a Kona Mobile on the truck, train, ship, or the airplane for traveling LoRaWAN coverage. If you have an access to low-cost infrastructure cable strand, we have our Kona Strand Gateway for this as well. Or if you simply will look for a cost-effective LoRaWAN coverage of your home or office, the Kona Micro is the most widely used gateway on the market for this type of deployment. This gateway benefits from optional cellular modem and battery backup to ensure that gateway stays online all the time. And no matter the deployment, Tiktaalik has developed a gateway solution to meet your needs. But when we developed these products, we always did it with the goal of ensuring that the product is designed for high availability, scalability, and most importantly, to reduce the operator total cost of ownership. As you may know, the most expensive part of operating an IoT network is not the upfront capital costs, it is the cost of deployment and continuous management and operation. And Tiktaalik addresses this by ensuring the minimal maintenance to reduce the operating expenses, ensuring the gateways can be deployed in any environment, high scalability to promote accelerated network rollout, and a competitive price to minimize the cost of initial deployment. Let's go to next slide. So as we're focusing on the smart buildings today, I would like to highlight 3 gateways: the Kona Macro, Kona Enterprise, and Kona Micro, which are ideal solutions for this space and are being deployed nowadays globally to address many different smart building challenges that our customers have presented to us. Now, in addition to the development and launch of carrier-grade gateways and devices, Tiktaalik has made its commitment in years of 2020 and 21 to work with partners such as Sandra and support our customers with full IoT solutions to address real problems. And I'm going to make some time to walk you through a few of our end-to-end solutions that we have developed to meet our customers' unique IoT connectivity requirements. And later in the presentation, Ali will be speaking about some of these solutions in greater detail. Of course, let's switch to the next slide, please. You might know that all of us have been impacted by the COVID-19 in the past year. And in response to this pandemic, Tiktaalik has developed a comprehensive, reliable enterprise contact tracing solution designed to get businesses back to work safely, but also keep operations running at maximum capacity, even in the event of a positive COVID case. Essentially, this solution works like this. Employees are equipped with wearable indoor or outdoor devices attached to their belt, pocket, or worn on a lanyard. When employees come into the contact with one another, they are notified in real time, as the devices will provide audio and vibration feedback, prompting employees to take a step back. In the meantime, this contact event gets logged in a comprehensive, user-friendly application, giving companies the ability to see exactly when the device came into the contact with one another and for how long. We also work with our partners such as Sanora to ensure the data is collected by the devices and it can be transmitted to their application as well. And here's why it's valuable. Let's say an employee is unfortunately tested positive for COVID. Then the organization can quickly and easily look back at all of the contacts they had with other employees during this time of period. And they can simply isolate only those individuals who were determined to be high risk of exposure. This solution was developed in fall of 2020, and it is already helping our customers around the globe to return to work and continue to operate safely. As I mentioned before, Ali will be speaking more about this solution later in the webinar. Let's switch the slide, please. The next solution I would like to present today is our Tempo meeting room booking solution. It is an end-to-end solution designed for a smart office, large and small. This comprehensive solution is comprised of multiple pieces to manage and monitor your company's meeting room bookings and also optimize your room utilization. We have combined a low-power e-ink display tablet with our widely deployed smart room sensor. And it ensures the real-time insight into the occupancy status of a meeting room. This allows enterprises to gain valuable insight into room utilization, but also optimizes the efficiency of their meeting spaces. For example, if somebody goes into their corporate booking system, and typically it's Outlook or Google Calendar, and they book a meeting room, but eventually no one shows up to it after some time, then the smart room sensor will detect that there is no one in the room, and the network will automatically release this room so that it is available for booking again. The ink display tablet shows the real-time availability of the room and gives employees the ability to book a meeting right from the tablet. The battery-powered tablet works right out of the box and can be mounted on any surface without any wiring needed, providing a full year of battery life which makes this Tempo solution the most low maintenance and cost-effective meeting room booking solution on the market today. We have also developed a fully featured application to give our customers valuable insights into their meeting room utilization and employee booking habits. Let's switch to the next slide, please. On this last slide, I would like to speak to you a little bit more about the smart room sensor. Now, I have shown it during the past slide as a part of the Tectelic Tempo solution, but on its own, this is one of the most powerful devices in the LoRaWAN device ecosystem today. This small form factor device is capable of measuring all the following functions, starting from temperature, humidity, light intensity, movement and motion detection, G-force measurement, moisture or water leaks, and it also has capability of integrating with a magnetic reed switch or external connector probes. The best part of it all is that the smart room sensor is designed for a battery life of 10 years, meaning that you can set it and forget it. There is no need to worry about recharging or consistently swapping the batteries. This is truly the most versatile smart building device on the market. I would like to finish my presentation by saying that amazing things happen when leaders listen to their customers. And as a IoT market leader, Tectelic is committed to supporting our customers as they flourish in their IoT ecosystem. We are very proud to partner with other IoT leaders such as Senra, who share our goals of making IoT accessible for any customers, regardless of their technical background, and ensuring that IoT just works. Thank you for attention. I would like to pass the word to Ale now.
Thanks, Taras. That was great. Thank you so much for going through the different solutions that are possible in the smart building segment, also giving us a run through on the benefits of LoRaWAN and the different variety of products that you guys offer. For everyone that's listening, Senra is an authorized distributor for Tectelic. If you need or are interested in getting any more information, you can always reach out to us. Or directly Tectelic. So what I will do now is spend the remaining time of the presentation to discuss a real use case that we deployed actually in our own office. To give a little backstory for those that were in India or are from India, you all are aware of the big lockdown that took place in the March timeframe of 2020. And that was a really big impact to many companies where they had to make critical decisions of pulling their employees out of the office space to do remote work from home scenarios, which most companies did. The next, 6 to 8 months, we struggled to figure out how we could eventually start to slowly introduce employees back into the workspace. But we didn't want to just open the door and say, okay, everyone come back without properly assessing the security measures, the safety measures, and what we could potentially do to monitor and reduce the risk of contracting the COVID-19 virus. So the first thing we did is we did some research. I myself and our HR department, we went online. We reached out to different organizations that are globally known and monitoring this pandemic. And we first determined some key interesting facts that we needed to track. So the CDC, they not only were stating that you want to maintain a proper 6 feet of social distancing to reduce the risk of contraction of the virus, but they also had an interesting fact that they determined that those that were in contact with someone that had the virus for more than 15 minutes were actually in very high risk of contracting the COVID-19. And so what does that mean to us? That means we need to monitor not only the distance, of the two people that are interacting with each other. But also, if the proximity threshold has been met, we need to also monitor the amount of time that each person has been in touch with each other. So that was an interesting fact. And that was something that we decided to look into from a smart IoT perspective on what kind of devices and solutions are out there that we can leverage that technology to monitor those specific statistics. India's ISHRAE, the ministry came out of health in India and did some recommendations during COVID. And ISHRE had recommended that you can curtail the chances of contracting the infection in a work environment if you can maintain a relative humidity level between 40 to 70% within the workplace. So that was also another interesting fact that we never really knew or thought of. And we wanted to make sure that we could monitor the RH levels as well. The US has an HEVAC association that has to do with heating and AC. And they had similar recommendations that the chance of survival of these viruses were at their lowest when temperatures were maintained at 21 degrees Celsius and humidity levels were maintained between 40 degrees to 40 to 60% of relative humidity. Overall, they had mentioned that humans are more productive and comfortable when the humidity indoor ratings are in the range of 30 to 70%. And you can see that these percentage ranges are in line with what the ISHRE had mentioned as well. Finally, we looked at the World Health Organization and we wanted to understand, other than relative humidity and the proximity requirements, how did temperature play within the environment of making sure that we can try to minimize the chances of getting sick. And they had recommended that you want to maintain temperature levels during the day below 32 degrees Celsius and below 24 degrees Celsius during the night. But what I thought was even more interesting is that they recommended to check the temperatures throughout the day between 8 and 10, at 1 o'clock, and even at night. So, there's stuff out there that we need to monitor now based on our research, but how do we do that? How can we leverage smart technology to keep track of it? And so we decided to leverage tectonic equipment to do so, and I'll go in a little bit more detail. The final thing that we found about that was, okay, based on all this information, the optimum range that you want to maintain relative humidity within a workplace is roughly between 40 to 60%. And you can see based on the chart on the left, that is where it's the sweet spot to prevent bacterial growth, fungi, and reduce allergens and that kind of thing. On the right side, you'll see a graph that is relative humidity versus temperature. And what does that all look like for a human's comfort zone? And in general, they state that between 20 to 26 degrees Celsius and in those same humidity ranges, that is a human's comfortable zone. That's the sweet spot that we want to make sure that we can try to keep our workplace in those ranges. So what did we do? Taras did mention about the key points or things that you need to make a complete LoRaWAN solution. This kind of gives you a high level look at that. You've got your end devices. So we leverage tectonic devices that we deployed in the office. We then use their micro Kona gateway for the indoor application of receiving all of the data that's transmitted from these sensors. And then we routed the data from the gateway to our Senra network. where all of the data management's taking place, the network controller, the key exchanges, and then the data routing traffic to the analytics platform, which we also leveraged our own, which is Ginger, to do all of the data visualization and being able to monitor all of these critical requirements that these health organizations were referring to. So how did we do it? After we got the network set up, we integrated the Tectelic devices into our platform. For those that aren't really technical, each device sends a payload on every uplink, and these payloads have a lot of different information within them. You have to understand how to decode that information to make sense of it. So for anyone that wants to use our analytics platform, you can create a free account on Ginger, go to ginger.io. And if you buy any of these Tectelic devices, they're already pre-integrated. So you don't have to worry about figuring out to read the manuals, try to understand how to write code, and try to understand how to decode hex, and that kind of thing. So we took the liberty of getting that done as part of this use case. So an example here on the screen is humidity. This is how we were retrieving the relative humidity from one of the devices' payload. Another one down on the bottom left is tracking of the amount of contacts that happen per device of the distant guard. Once we got the device's hardware payload decoded, we then decided to create some solutions in our platform, which would allow us to monitor the thresholds that were recommended by these organizations. And we're able to not only associate the values of the thresholds, but we can set up labels, we can set up icons and even colors that would then be visualized in our platform on the front end if we were looking at the icon on the map, or if we were looking at it in a table or an analytics line chart. This information would immediately be correlated based on the configurations we set up. We also set up a configuration to immediately get alerted if there was a contact. So there was two devices or two employees that came in touch with each other within that 1.5 meter range to then immediately send an alert through the system. So these are the devices we installed. Taras referred to these earlier. I think they're an amazing piece of equipment. They're really small, they're affordable, and they've got, 7 to 8 different type of outputs, sensories that you can use, as he mentioned. And it's really configurable. You can send downlinks to it, change the intervals, turn on or off certain sensors. I thought it was a really well-designed equipment. So the base model, which is the top icon image, we deployed that in the backside of our office in our lab area. And we leveraged that sensor to determine 2 variables, the temperature and humidity. We also had the PR model, which is also a smart room sensor, but this one had an additional sensor, which was the PIR for motion detection. And we installed that in the front side of our office near our entranceway. We were obviously monitoring the temperature and humidity, but we were also leveraging it to get alerted if someone had entered the office during closed office hours, so that we could be immediately alerted if there was a break-in. The bottom left-hand image that you see here of the analytics is real live data that we had collected over the time period of this installation, which I believe we did it starting about a month and a half or 2 months ago. And the data we were able to collect were pretty insightful. We were able to see a bunch of different things on the humidity, on the temperature levels, and we were even able to correlate it to external environmental things like air pollution and the temperatures outside and how that impacted the environment on the inside of the building. The following device that we did, once we understood the environmental sensors, we used the distant guard light, which is their contact tracing device for indoors. As Taras mentioned, you can put it on your belt, which a lot of our employees do. You can put it on a lanyard around your neck or in a pocket. It's quite small. And you can assign it a unique ID. So every employee got a device, and it had a unique identifier, which we were then able to track in our analytics platform to make sure that we knew who it was once the device had come in contact with another device. The interesting thing about this device, which I really liked, was the fact that it vibrated, and it also had a audio alarm that would sound that you could hear once you breached that threshold that was configured to the device, which in our case was 1.5 meters. So it was quite interesting, because when employees are trying to maintain the social distancing norms, they can't visualize 1.5 meters. It's kind of hard to understand. Are you too far away? Are you too close? But these devices immediately would sound off an alarm if you got too close. And on the right-hand side, down on the bottom of the screen, you'll actually see some analytics that we were collecting in our platform to understand on a daily basis which employees were coming in contact together. Was there an alert that got triggered? Over time, we were able to determine, how much activity was taking place in the last 7 days, 30 days, or whatever. And it was really great because it tracked all of the durations as well. So this device, not only will it track the contacts, but it will give you information on how many seconds the devices were in contact with each other at a certain time. So our key findings that we found as part of this whole thing, initially our employees were having some difficulty maintaining the proper social distancing. So one thing we realized with these devices is we had been a little too optimistic on how many employees we could have in the office at one time. We were thinking we could be up to 7 to 8 people and still be able to be safe. We quickly identified that that was not the case, which would then allowed us from management perspective to understand on certain shifts we needed to maintain no more than 4 employees at a time to make it optimally safe from a social distancing management perspective. The other thing that was great, as I mentioned earlier, is the device itself was creating behavioral changes on our employees that they could then understand what 1.5 meters was. And over time, the number of contacts that were occurring started to decrease because they themselves were able to determine that, okay, when I walk past this person or when I got to go somewhere or talk to someone, I know that I can maintain this distance without hearing that vibration or alarm. So that was great with the distant guard device. So the other thing was the the smart room sensors that we leveraged. We noticed that the humidity and temperature was better in the front of the office than the backside of our office. I believe we have some insulation issues around the window sills in the backside of the office that were creating it to be colder. Also, we have better sunlight throughout the day on the front of the office, which naturally warms up the building. And what was interesting is that not many employees would leverage the backside of the office because of the cold temperatures. And that would also create issues from the social distancing perspective, being able to keep that appropriate distances from each other. So that was something we wanted to address, and we're looking into now to how can we fix that. One, obviously, is getting heaters, sticking them in the office to create more optimal temperatures. The other thing is the RH, the relative humidity, was not so good in the backside, which can increase chances of virus spreading and that kind of thing. Once we get the heaters in place, we'll try to reassess the data and see if that helped balance off the humidity also. The interesting thing is that the air pollution outside in the immediate area did directly impact the humidity levels on the inside of the office. And with all of that information, we were actually able to go to AQI India website, and I made a post on this on LinkedIn one day, and I ran 30-day data from that website on the local surrounding area of our offices, air pollution, AQI levels, and PM levels. And what we found was when we correlated that with the 30 days of humidity in our office, the spikes were almost identical from the timeline perspective. And we were having some real big challenges trying to manage and maintain the ideal humidity levels inside the office when pollution was extremely high. So these are key findings that we've determined that we need to assess to make it even better for our employees. But just by using 2 sensors and these contact tracing devices for our employees, we've been able to make it a safer place for our team. And we have more confidence now when we want to start rolling in more and more employees. But for now, until the vaccines come, I think overall we'll stay at a work from home for the majority of the workforce, which allows us to also manage the contraction spread. So these are the use cases that I wanted to go through. We're really excited to have this partnership with Tektelic. We've been working with them as far as I can remember. I've known Tektelic since 2016, and we've always collaborated, but we've finally taken it to the next step, and we're really excited to have them as a partner. With that, I will now take some time to allow some Q&As to take place. So if I can, Taras, do you have access to the Q&A list? It's not popping up for me.
Yes, I do. And so the first question from the Rudy Scheiner, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but the question is, are you going to provide the link for the recording and PPT? And I think it was already answered. The recording will be available on the YouTube, and the link is in the chat there. Ali, maybe you can speak about the presentation if we are going to provide it as well.
Yeah, so this recording will be available on YouTube. It is actually live streaming on Facebook as well as we speak, and I believe it'll be available there. You can go to our website and find a link to the YouTube place, or just go to YouTube and type in Cinratech, and you'll have this slide deck for you to refer to later. Next question, Taras?
All right. So next question from Somesh. What is the level of security you provide as far as your platform and solutions are concerned? And so maybe I can start saying that LoRaWAN is end-to-end encrypted and secure. And on the device level, from the device to the network server, there is one layer of encryption. And there are keys that allow the data to be decrypted on the network server. So between the sensor itself and the network server, the packet is encrypted and no one will be able to read it without this key. And the gateway itself will not participate in any case in the decryption. It just passes the packets to the network server. And Ali, maybe you can speak more about the security of the network and application servers.
Sure. When the data gets transmitted to our network server, it's fully encrypted, as Taras mentioned, 128 AES. And that gets then routed to the analytics platform where all the key exchanges take place and the decryption takes place. So from end to end, you've got secure communications. There are companies out there that provide secure elements that you can put directly onto the device. If you're into device manufacturing, that will store the keys locally on the hardware. From the analytics side, our Ginger platform is in Amazon AWS. We've implemented all properly secure measures. We hired a security firm to hack our system per se to make sure that it's secure and identify any vulnerabilities. And we're definitely compliant with the GSPR policies for privacy. Another thing that you can do from a secure perspective is to do more private or on-premise installations of LoRaWAN. So with the collaboration from companies like Tectelic, we can actually provide on-premise installations that can be completely off-grid. If you're in the defense sector or very sensitive projects that you're working on, or if you're on an enterprise industry that would like to have more control of the server. So those type of things are in place. What's the next question?
All right, so next question is, regarding the shown dashboard of the IoT platform, do you offer it as a cloud platform only, or is the dedicated version on own service also possible to get?
Yeah, so I think I just answered that question. I believe Tectelic's software analytics and our analytics platform both are available in the cloud as well as on-premise.
Yes, that's correct. And the next question, do you provide customizable IoT dashboards?
Yeah, our Ginger platform can be white labeled, which allows you to modify the color schemes. Our analytics widgets and dashboards are fully customizable. You can create all different kinds of data metrics, from counters to radial charts to line charts, bar charts, pie charts, tables, and even value readings. All of that is fully in control of the user. And we have a dashboard area as well that you can pin these analytical widgets that can be then viewed publicly to all users that access the platform.
All right, so the next question is, what is the duty cycle limitation in India when it comes to LoRaWAN?
There is no duty cycle limitation in India, as far as I'm aware.
All right. We do have other question here. It is, can we see all Ginger data in one mobile application?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, what was that last part you said, Taras?
Can we see all Ginger data in one mobile application?
Yeah, so we have a mobile application that we will be releasing in the next month or so that will be exactly storing all of your devices and project data there. Until that's released, we have solution-specific mobile apps that you can download from Google Play. We have a tracking app called UFind. If you're doing waste management projects, we've got a Clean Bin app that allows you to do route optimizations when you're trying to pick up waste bins that are a certain percentage of full level. We have a parking app for enforcing parking management type of things. And we have an app called UBeam, which is meant for streetlight control maintenance for administrators that need to go on the streets and make sure that the lights are working, that kind of thing.
All right, I also missed one question before. It is, please explain Tectelic products.
That's yours.
All right, yeah. So to start with, about 4 years ago, Tectelic invested into LoRaWAN. As we've seen a lot of prospect in this technology, as I also explained before. And we have developed many gateways for different use cases and different deployment types. We are proud to say they are carrier grade and they can be deployed in any environments. And we also offer many different sensors that can be applied to different use cases. Not only the safe workplace or small building, but also agriculture, tracking, or asset tracking, or metering of any kinds of data, temperature, humidity, things like that. And we also offer the backend, the network server that we have, and the end application. So we basically offer the end-to-end solution. All right, the next question is that can be integrated with analytics platform. So yeah, I'm not sure I understand this question. Is it, does it refer to the previous question that you posted?
I think maybe what he was trying to ask was, can these devices be implemented with any application? So as you saw, the Tectelic offers full end-to-end solutions, but the way they developed their hardware, we were able to integrate it into our analytics platform. That means that it can be integrated with other applications as well. So our network services that we provide, or Tectelic's network that's embedded, that comes with their gateways, they allow data traffic routing. If you log into our network portal, it's a couple of clicks away, and then you can decide to choose from a reputable list of platforms that are already available, like Amazon, Azure, Ginger, or you can route it through HTTP or MQTT if you have your own hosted server that you guys are doing your analytics on. So it's quite simple to do all of that setup and route the data traffic. The more challenging side is making sense of the data quickly and decoding the information, the payloads that are coming down on the uplinks. So that's something that we think from an analytics platform Ginger provides our customers, is it removes the need for them to have to be so technical and go through all that trouble. And by using our platform, they can literally create an entire solution within less than 24 hours and roll it out to do pilots, POCs, and even real-time commercial project deployments.
All right, next question is, what is Tectelic's smart room sensor? So the smart room sensor is a smart LoRaWAN device that is capable of many different measurements. It comes in two options, base and PAR, and depending on the option, they have specific functions, but overall, this device can be installed somewhere in the office or in your home, and it can measure different things like temperature and humidity, or leak detection, or light intensity, or the presence in the room. And so all this data will flow from the sensor to your end application. And this sensor is remotely controllable, so you can customize it as I mentioned, you can turn on and off some of the functions. It's a greatly customizable, versatile device that you can use in many different applications, especially in smart office solutions. So the next question is, do you provide historical insights on the platform?
On our analytics platform, we do. There is a way to generate widgets on historical data. You can do custom ranges. You can do last 7 days, last 30 days. You can do today's data. It's all configurable and easily to set up for any user that logs in.
All right, so the next question is from Murali. So is it likely we will see smart water products from Tectelic? If so, what is the time frame? So we do work with many metering companies in smart water metering, for example. And we know that on the market, there are many companies who offer smart water meters that work on LoRaWAN. So we currently don't have plans on introducing one such smart meter, but in case there is a good opportunity for it, Tectelic, as you might know, is able to provide custom solutions, and we can definitely look into developing such a smart meter for our customers.
And I believe, Taras, you did mention earlier that some of these devices you make do integrate with pulse outputs, pulsars. So technically, if you wanted to kind of do some retrofitting, you might be able to with those devices. Is that correct?
That's a great point, actually. Yes, the smart room sensor can actually connect to smart meters through the external connect port. So it can be used with the water meters. So the next question, how Sandra and Tectelic will collaborate as we read your announcement?
Well, if you can't tell by this presentation, this is just a sample of what we plan to be able to bring to the market We looked at Tektelic as a company that has really high quality products. We've already been using their gateways in some of our network deployments. Their in nodes, we got really excited when we started to see them develop those because we knew that from a gateway perspective, they had real high quality expertise in the RF. And we weren't, once we ran those devices through our lab, we were able to determine that, yep, these are really good devices as well. We are hoping to be able to expand our offerings on our analytics platform, which the pre-integrated devices to make our customers and even enable our own sales team to be able to demonstrations and pilots, POCs and projects at a rapid pace. And I think with the collaboration with Tektelic, it just makes sense. As I mentioned in the press release, there's a lot of room to grow there because we have great synergies between the two companies.
And so the next question is, what kind of solutions are you looking for offering? I think it relates to the previous one. I'll just say that Tektelic is very glad to work with Senra and have them represent Tektelic in India. And we will be happy to offer any kinds of solutions, whether it is a smart building or agriculture. And we do have many sensors that allow to do that. And we already offer gateways and some of the sensors, as Ali mentioned. So we will expand the cooperation and we will expand the portfolio of the devices and the gateways that Senra can offer in the India market with cooperation with Tektelic.
So Taras, we've got about 9 minutes left. Do we have any more questions?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone for attending and taking the time to listen to us on this smart building webinar. Again, the recordings will be available on YouTube immediately after the presentation. I thank everyone for their time. Taras, you did a great job. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Tektelic, for being a trusted partner. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
It was great to host the webinar. Thank you, Ali. Bye-bye.